Great morning. Fantastic morning. My God chose me to wake up this day that you and I, if you're watching, will never, ever, ever see again. Can't you imagine? Can't you imagine what it would be like to have the opportunity to wake up as often and as needed as your higher power, who I choose to call God, who you may choose to call God, says, rise. There's something I want you to do this day. There's someone I want you to touch this day. What you do today can determine your future. How you like that? So that's why I am so grateful that every day I acknowledge it as a gift, a holiday, that I should receive this present, and what I freely receive, I should freely give. And I practice that to the best of my ability. Why? Because of the 12-step spiritual principles within a 12-step fellowship, right? Many of you know that I've been attending for the past 34 plus years. It'll be 35 years come February if my God chooses to wake me up between then and now. All right. But in the meantime, I got today. And that's what matters. What do I have today? What am I going to do with the day's gift? Am I going to be of service to just one other person? Am I going to practice being selfless? Huh? No. Am I going to practice being, am I going to practice being a selfless, right? And think about somebody else. Am I going to be tolerant with somebody? We talked about true tolerance yesterday, and true tolerance means love, right? It means that we are all ill to some extent, as we shared yesterday on the daily reflection reading, right? And we all know that we are emotionally ill, emotionally sick, right? To some extent, and we will never ever receive perfection or obtain perfection, right? But we can be satisfied with making progress along the way. Hey, Peace Bomb, welcome, welcome. And so, what I've learned through my 12-step spiritual program, right, is not what I say. Let my actions speak for themselves, huh? And that's what I have been receiving through the 12 principles, tools, and resources, the 5 agreements by the Uiz family, my spiritual revival hour by the late Dr. Benjamin Twimby Brown, right? The gospel songs that I listen to every day, all day if I can, and the journal that I kept the first 4 years in my recovery that talks about how the enemy was trying to put me back there. But the God that who met me underneath that park car said, no, I want you to get with this so I can take you there. And so I thank God for the spiritual, unlimited amount of spiritual experiences, which leads to produces an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. You know what? You know what, Peace Bomb? If I had it my way, I wouldn't have nothing on. Listen, I'm so mad at Adam and Eve. And listen, Peace Bomb, have when I open up my boutique and my clothes giveaway, you'll be the first one to be invited so you can take some of these things, right? But thank you for the compliment. And so again, I just love the fact that you are allowing me to be me. Free to hope, from recovery, emerge empowered, so that I can give help to others, help others prosper equally. You know what that means, free to hope, right? Without these 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources, I could not be as free as I am. And when I tell you I am one free bird, no makeup, no nail polish, right? No extensions, no none of that. Just little old me, right? Just little old me. Why? Because I accept who I am today. I love myself. I tolerate myself. I am tolerant with myself. I have forgiven myself, right? I give acknowledgement to myself. I am humbled, right? I practice humility as often as I can, but I didn't always do that. No, 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 no. At the age of 34, underneath that parked car, is when my life changed because of that one and only knee bowing experience. Have you had yours yet? Hmm? Because if you had, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will not go back to that, but I will stay with this and look forward to more of this. Okay. So, free to hope from recovery, emerge empowered. All right. So that we can give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Now, there are some announcements I do need to make. Okay. And let me take this down. All right. And let me let you know that Don Thomas and his wife will be here next week. And hopefully, I can get him from behind the camera on the screen with me, right? So look forward to that. We are sending out some support letters for sponsorship of his book for Dr. Benjamin Twimby Brown in the month of February. So look for those announcements and pray that God will touch your heart to make a contribution to keep the legacy of Dr. Benjamin Twimby Brown alive. I would not be sitting here before you if God had not used him to recruit me. All right. Then that's our reading for today. But listen, this is what I want to, well, this is one of the other ones. So if you are from Smyrna, Odessa, Townsend, uh, Middletown, and Dover, please come out to St. Albert's Family Clinic to get this free Narcan training. We provide transportation. Listen, we are a no excuse organization that said we need you to help save lives from those who may overdose and to help prevent them from doing it again, right? Provide them treatment and then ultimately recovery so that they too, like me and millions of others, can stay free from drugs, alcohol, and all its associated behaviors one day at a time. But this is what I really want to get out into the community. Listen, y'all, listen. Winter time is coming. And for those who suffer with co-occurring disorders, right? Mental challenges and substance abuse disorders, winter time is a very difficult time. Some of us overdose in the rain, in the snow. Some of us are out there prostituting in the rain, in the snow. Some of us are sleeping behind buildings in the rain, in the snow. And so it's a challenging time every day if you're suffering from co occurring disorders. I want you to get the word out, please. Divine Light Treatment and Recovery Center, which I am the program director of. I came out of retirement to just help one more, right? We provide outpatient and intensive outpatient services to adults 18 and over. And this is the incentive, if you will, or the comfort that you will be housed in one of our transitional housing once you become one of our clients and you are homeless. Okay. And so if you know of anybody who is suffering from co occurring disorders, whether they are in detox, a rehabilitation, a recovery program, a transitional house, coming out of the hospital, you may refer them to our agency, right? And so we want to make sure that you know divine light, just the name itself, divine light, divine light. That's why I know this was inspired by God for me to be a part of this organization, just by the word divine. And so when we provide substance abuse disorders services to those who are afflicted, right, we also provide housing. Now, you can't just come for housing, you have to have had or having a substance abuse disorders and have been diagnosed as such, right? Or you just want to get off of drugs and you want to stop drinking alcohol. First, you would have to be detoxed by going to a detoxification program. Next, you would have to have insurance, right? And our insurance takes Medicaid, Amera Health, Health Options slash Highmark, and Delaware First State, right? Those are the insurances that we take. We don't accept Medicare, all right? So put the word out that we are available to provide intensive outpatient and above, okay, while they are in treatment with us. So the phone number is 302 468 4530. And please visit our website because not only do we have services in Wilmington, Delaware, we have them in Philadelphia as well as Baltimore. Okay. And go to the website of divine-light.net. That's DIVINE hyphen light, LIGHT.net. It's getting cold, even though the weather is fooling us right now, but winter is coming. And every day that someone is out there suffering from substance abuse disorders, they may not know or realize that there is help available. I should know. I was out there myself, and my last day was on February the 22nd of 1990 underneath a parked car. So I do know what I'm talking about, been there and done that. But look at what God has done for me because of that one and only knee bowing experience. Get the word out. Divine Light has openings for intensive outpatient and outpatient services, and it provides housing if you are one of our clients who is homeless. Okay, so I hope you pass the word around, and I'm going to put the information on the screen as we talk about our topic today. All right. So let me ask you, how was your day yesterday? Huh? How was your day yesterday, Peace Bomb? Huh? 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 Peace Bomb. Were you tolerant of yourself yesterday? Were you tolerant of other people? Did you show true tolerance yesterday? If so, give me an example. Give me a name or a situation that you provided true tolerance, which means love in spite of what the enemy wanted you to show. Share that with me, Peace Bomb. And anybody else who comes on, share with me how this information is helping you to recognize what's important, right? The fruit of the Spirit. And because we know that this is only the is that no matter what we see, what we hear, what we say, is all an illusion. Believe it or not, that's according to the Louise family. But once we have that one and knee bowing experience, the light, which makes all the difference in the world. Because when we learn to apply spiritual tools, resources, and principles to all earthly matters, yes, we get to live our heaven here on earth. True tolerance means true love. And I thank my God for being an example of how I want to share with my other human beings. Okay? Let's get to the topic today. The Holy Spirit wants me to do. And that is to share with you that October. Hey, Tracy Shaw. Know what she does best. She sings her butt off. The Holy Spirit has her locked down and bound, right? She knows what her gift is. Yes, do what you know is best, huh? What we know best. So Tracy, listen, keep on singing, right? Yeah, she was at the event where we had Canaan's 20th anniversary. And listen, the microphone was, the sound system was messed up. She was sick and wasn't feeling well. But guess what? When the Louise family says, be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personal, don't make any assumptions, but always do your best. In spite of, Tracy Shaw did her best, and guess what? She did the doggone thing. And guess who was up there cheering her? Me. Me. I love you, Tracy. All right, so, because she does what she knows is best for her, and she knows what God has given her as her gift. Yes. Her dad, Herman Holloway. Oh my God. Somebody brought his name up yesterday, Tracy. Brought your daddy's name up, right? And they were saying how he was so helpful. He knew what his best was, to help those who are in need. See, your uncle Tracy, we know his history, right? And Herman knew his brother's history and many others. And because our God knows the gift that is each and every one of us, right? And we shared yesterday, right? There is some good and bad, and there's some bad and good. So there's no perfect human being, but God has the blueprint for everybody. And so with people like Herman Holloway, who was given the gift of giving, the heart of giving, the heart of supporting, he did what he knew was best, right? He was led by the Holy Spirit to keep giving, right? Oftentimes with no thanks and no gratitude, but Herman wasn't worried about that because he knew, like I know, where our gift comes from. We don't do it for man. Tracy don't sing for man. Tracy sings. Herman does. I do for God. It's all about God. Don't get it twisted. And that's the difference in tuning in to this Free to Hope podcast. From recovery, emerge empowered so that we can give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Okay, so let's get into this topic today. All right. So now listen up, y'all. Okay, want you to listen up, right? Not this one. Okay, let's go back here. All right, not that one. Not that one. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, so what it says here, okay, it says, right, October the 23rd, AA Daily Reflections. And the topic for today is what we know best. I implore you to go to aa.org and learn all about Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay? And this reading will help you to understand why. It says from the quote off of page 150 from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, written by our co-founder, right, Bill W. And it reads, Shoemaker, stick to thy last. Better do one thing supremely well than many badly. That is the central theme of this tradition. 5. Around it, our society gathers in unity. The very life of our fellowship requires the preservation of this principle. From the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 150. Now, the purpose of the person in recovery shares his experience, strength, and hope is because we want to be able to relate to any and everybody, okay? And so he states the survival of AA depends upon unity. What would happen if a group decided to become an employment agency, a treatment center, or a social service agency? Too much specialization leads to no specialization, to frittering of efforts, and finally to decline. I have the qualifications to share my sufferings and my way of recovery with the newcomer. Conformity to AA's primary purpose ensures the safety of the wonderful gift of sobriety, so my responsibility is enormous. The life of millions of alcoholics is closely tied to my competence in carrying the message to the still suffering alcoholic. Woo, woo, woo. Listen, y'all. Listen. My God knows and loves the fact that I can admit that I am cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, and I love it. And that's not calling myself a name. It just shows the excitement of being alive and being given this gift of sobriety and knowing who I am and whose I am. So that makes me cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. You can't find anyone more authentic and transparent than I am. You don't believe me? Look. How you like me now, huh? Cocaine and alcohol took my teeth, right? Mm-hmm. So my teeth don't make me. They just help me to articulate a little better, right? So you see what I mean? Who in their right mind would do something like that but Edwina, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops? But I encourage you to be free because your clothes, your hair, your makeup do not make you. You are just, right, making up the vessel. But what really counts is the spirit within. We often say in our fellowship, stop focusing on the messenger. Listen with your spiritual ears to the spiritual message. If you closed your eyes, you wouldn't see what I was wearing. You wouldn't see that I got my teeth out or in. If you closed your eyes, you would only focus on the message that's spiritual in nature. Do you understand me? So that's why when it says true tolerance, stop looking at the person and look at the spirit that occupies that vessel. There and only there will you know who is and what is operating through that vessel. Huh? And so I love the fact that I can call myself Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops because I love being free. Yes, I have been set free, y'all. All right, let's get to this topic. Let's dissect this baby, Tracy. Okay, Shoemaker, stick to thy last. How many of us in our journey through life thus far started a whole lot of things, had a whole lot of ideas, aspirations, goals, whatever. And we started this and we started that. Then we changed our mind and we started this and we started that. And we changed our mind and we started this and we started that, right? Okay, but guess what? That's called life. Nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong. You know why it's nothing wrong with that? Because it happened. I get in touch with what happened, not the if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And so when I accept what has happened, because that's where I was at that time, that's what I said at that time, that's what I felt at that time, it happened. The question becomes, now that I am spiritually more mature, what did I learn from what happened? What did I learn from being underneath that parked car? What did I learn from being a prostitute, a drug addict, a crackhead? What did I learn from committing murder as a prostitute? What did I learn from it? Huh? That's why in this 12-step spiritual program, we learn that there is nothing wrong with us. No. The enemy wants to make us think there's something wrong with us. But our God who created us said, I don't create junk. I don't make junk. You just need to find out what happened to you to bring about those feelings, those thoughts, those attitudes, that behavior that was formulated way back when you were a child. But our Creator knew us before we were even in the womb. So being born into a sinful world with a sinful nature, what do you expect to happen? Please get that book by the 5 Agreements, right? And so when we go and look back over our lives, what did we start, stop? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Okay, all right. So what I've learned through my journey, I need to find my purpose. I need to identify my passion. I need to look and embrace my calling. I need everything that I have went through, and my past has become my most precious, right, and greatest possession. Through that, my purpose was disclosed. Through that, my calling was developed. Through that, my passion to be of service to others for what I went through, right, became my calling. I didn't understand why I was going through what I was going through. I even asked God, why am I going through this? He let me know, ain't none of your business right now. Ain't none of your business right now. I am preparing you, and you don't even know it. But guess what? Just like God told the devil, he can mess with Job all he wants. His flesh, what? His skin, whatever. You can do anything you want to Job. You just can't kill him. You just can't kill him. And God knows the enemy tried to kill me so many times. The knives to my neck, the guns to my head, jumping out of windows, jumping out of cars, right? God basically knew you could do anything you want to Edwina. You just can't kill her. You just can't kill her. You just can't kill her. No, not her. Not her. Because one day, she will let you know. No. And God was so right. When he met me underneath that parked car, y'all. When he met me underneath the parked car. Can y'all imagine being underneath a parked car? That's what happened to me. That's where all of that stuff in this sinful world with my sinful nature, and I contributed to my demise. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I thought I was grown at 12. I thought I knew my life at 15. Yeah. So recovery has taught me to embrace my greatest possession, which is my past, and to evaluate it, dissect it, conduct surgery on it, analyze it, right? Find out what happened, who contributed what part, right? What situation, what circumstances that were formulating our attitudes, ideas, and our behaviors. That's why I know now why I had to go through what I went through to get through in order to come through, to share it. What he done for me, he can do for you. And guess what? Through that, you will know your passion. You will know your calling. You will know your purpose. I'm living my purpose. I'm in my calling. I am walking in my destiny. You know why? Because I know who I am and whose I am. I'm not intimidated by no man. No. And that's not to be boisterous or conceited. Hell to the no. You're just as human as I am. So that's why I'm not intimidated by you, right? Okay. And I realized that my God chose me out of many. I keep telling y'all, I stepped over dead bodies. I robbed dead bodies. I didn't call 911 when somebody overdosed. No, I robbed their ass. Huh? Yes. But look how God is using me now. I'm teaching people how to administer Narcan to help people from overdosing. You see what I mean? Oh my God, you see what I mean? Who would have ever thought that I would be a certified Narcan training, that I would be an inspirational, transformational, motivational speaker on how to save lives from those suffering from co-occurring disorders? Who would have known that but God? So what I am doing, I learned from these 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources. Yes. And so let me share with you, right, how the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous was divinely inspired. Okay. And so listen. There were a couple of movements, all right? And throughout man's history, we have been drug addicts and alcoholics and prostitutes. Oh, yes. I don't care what you say. Yes. It's something about sex, and it's something about drinking and drugging that just what makes us whoopee. Yeah, alrighty then. We think we're having fun. We think we're enjoying life. We think, but no. But that's okay. That's okay, because that's what happened, right? And so through God's infinite wisdom, he was he destined two previous movements to help with those afflicted with alcoholism, which we now know is a disease, disease of the body, of the spirit, of the mind, a disease, right? Okay, so the first movement was the Washingtonians. And I shared this in my last meeting when we talk about do what you do best, right? And how our fellowship needs to stay unified to help those who are still coming, right? And so with the Washingtonians, they were a temperance group. Now check this out, y'all. I shared this the other day, right? These white educated Irish men, right, knew they drank too much, right? Decided, well, you know what, buddies, listen, we got to do something about this. Let's all meet at the same bar in this corner and help each other stay sober. And guess what, y'all? Through their movement, they had close to 600,000 people, if my research is correct. I'll double check it. But that was back then, right? A temperance group. If we just stick together and support one another, and that's it, we will be good. Well, guess what? As the influx of people started coming in, right, the dynamic changed. It went from not only staying sober, but doing other things, as the reading talked about. They wanted to support prohibition. They wanted to support slavery. They didn't want to let the women in. They didn't want this. They didn't want that. They wanted this. They wanted that. And in essence, they diverted from their primary purpose of one alcoholic helping another. No problem. They met their demise. Then came along the Oxford Group, which was a religious movement, if you will. So they learned from the Washingtonians, and the Oxford Group said, well, let's come from a religious angle. And they were responsible for taking the first 6 steps out of the Bible, out of the scriptures, and composing, right? The 12 spiritual principles, right? And so what we have realized, right, with the Oxford Group, our co-founders was in the back of the room and saying, because most of them was raised in the church and the Catholics and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about mainly white people, right? It is what it is, right? So they didn't have no room for women and other people of color, you know. And so, but that's okay, because God can use anybody for the masses. They just didn't know that, right? So with the religious group of Oxford, the Oxford Group, Bill and Bob said, nah, it's something. No, because you have atheists, agnostics, believers, used to be believers, want to be believers, whatever. So religion is man-made. It's man-made, y'all. Religion is man-made. I learned Christianity is not a religion. It's a spiritual. It was spiritual, right? I learned that Christianity is not a religion. Wow. Ooh, when you do your history, you do your history, right? And so thank you, Peace Bomb, right? He was in the halt, not too hungry, not too angry, not too lonely, and not too tired syndrome, right? So even the Oxford Group met their demise because they too started infighting, and they too had all these rules and regulations, and they too had who could come in and who can, all that, and they met their demise. Okay, no problem. Bill and Bob, divinely inspired, right, got Roland to go see Dr. Carl Jung, who had been his who had been his therapist for years. And Roland was saying, how and why can't I stop drinking? I was a part of, I heard about the temperance group. I was a part of the Oxford religion group, but I'm still drinking. What's wrong with me? Dr. Carl Jung said, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with y'all kind. No, but something has happened. And the only cure for what y'all have is divine intervention, divine providence. Y'all need a psychic change that's spiritual in nature. Not religion, not temperance, but spiritual in nature. That this infinite creator, who is a spirit, that's the only force that can help people with your disease. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm a doctor, I know. Divine providence, divine intervention that will create a psychic change. That was the answer. And Roland went back to Bill and Bob and explained the situation, and voila, they started talking about each of their spiritual experience, each of their spiritual awakenings, and watch how they were contributing to an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. And as a result, the other 6 spiritual steps taken from the scriptures was composed in a spiritual way. Yes. And for nearly 90 years, and there are over 200,000 groups and about over 90 countries. Alcoholics Anonymous exists. We have remained unified because of divine intervention, because of divine providence, because of that psychic change, because it's a spiritual program based in a spiritual fellowship, providing an unlimited amount of spiritual experience, awakenings, and breakthroughs. Can't you tell? Can't you see it? Can't you feel me? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? And so that's why this particular reading for today is so important, right? Let's do it again, okay? And I got time, okay? It says here, right? Shoemaker, stick to thy last. Better do one thing supremely well than many badly. That is the central theme of this tradition number 5, right? Around it, our society gathers in unity. That the very life of our fellowship, requires the preservation of this principle from 12 steps and 12 traditions, right? And so here it is, right? The person says it. The survival of AA depends upon unity. Now, let me share with you. I travel around the world before, now, and in the future. The first thing I do is find out where there is an AA meeting. Sort of like when I went around the country and I found out where the drug dealer was and the speakeasy and the Johns and the bars, okay? But because of that one and only knee bowing experience, God has prepared me, shaped and formed me, molded me to be sitting here before you to let you know when I travel now, I look for my 12-step spiritual program within my 12-step fellowship. So yes, the first thing I look for is an AA meeting. Wait a minute. Hold up. I ain't going to choke in front of y'all. Well, it doesn't matter if I choke in front of y'all. Y'all just can't help me, so I'm going to stop. All right. Hey, Tracy, let me try this. Me. Wait, me. I told you I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, right? So listen. Whether I go to Hawaii, there was a meeting on the beach. Wow, I was looking for a building. Rather, I go on a cruise ship. I saw in the program Friends of Bill W., a AA meeting. When I went to Brazil in one of the worst neighborhoods, right? The guy said, I'm not coming back to get you. I said, no problem. I know where I'm going. I'm going to an AA meeting. And when I got there, they spoke Portuguese. And I said, no problem. I'm at home. Me no drink. I'm here. Good. Listen. Because if I don't have this meeting, I'm going to go back to the hotel and do a Rambo on my sister. So I need this meeting, right? Went to Paris thinking they're going to speak French. So in other words, right? AA stays unified no matter where I go in this world. I can always feel at home in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Yes, that's why I do what I do every day. I go to my meetings every day. As a matter of fact, we had our meeting outside of the building yesterday. Yes, we did. The person didn't show up to let us in. Guess what? We all met outside and we had our meeting on true tolerance, right? All right. And so AA must stay unified, right? He says, what would happen if a group decided to become an employment agency, a treatment center, or a social service, right? What would happen? Well, look back at the Washingtonians, look back at the Oxford group, and look even in your own lives. When we try to do too many things, we start out with a great idea, and then we want to include that, include this, include that, and then we divert from our primary purpose. Yes. Yes. So we stick to staying sober and helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety. Our God say just do two things and watch what happens in your life and helping others to achieve sobriety and their purpose, right? He goes on to say, right? Let's go back and say, it says here, right? I have the qualifications to share my sufferings and my way of recovery with the newcomer. Oh my God. Who in their right mind, from our sinful nature, want to share any of our business with anybody, particularly our suffering? No. Hell no. Okay. So we are still on image time. We are still concealing what we need to reveal, right? Right? To keep us sick and prevent us from healing. Oh, no. Okay. And so here is an opportunity in Alcoholics Anonymous to be transparent and authentic. I'm going to tell you what happened to me, how it happened to me, what I did, what was done to me, what I said, what was said to me, what happened to put me underneath that parked car. I'm going to tell it. The truth has set me free because somebody else showed me how to do it. Yes. And I said, when I heard that girl, I said, Lord, if you keep me sober long enough, I want to be able to share just like her. Yes. And I am. And I do. I have no secrets. No. My suffering can help someone else identify with their suffering. My progress in recovery can help somebody be shown the way to their recovery. God has all of our blueprints. We were chosen. We are chosen. Tracy was chosen to sing her heart out. I was chosen to get on here and tell you all my business because for real, I ain't got But look at the freedom that I have of just saying, my God chose me, prepared me, and saved me for a reason, just to find one more of his lost sheep. Yes. Huh? Okay. And so the person goes on to say, because I got to get ready to go, right? He says, right? Conformity to AA's primary purpose ensures the safety of the wonderful gift of sobriety. So my responsibility is enormous, right? Conforming to the primary purpose that the Washingtonians didn't do, that the Oxford group didn't do, and therefore they met their demise. They almost had the answer, but their humanness got in the way because of their sinful nature within this sinful world, right? And so the Alcoholics Anonymous spiritual principles, tools, and resources within a spiritual fellowship says that it's spiritual in nature. We ain't talking about Casper the Friendly Ghost. We ain't talking about Ghostbusters, whatever they call it, Ghostbusters. We're talking about the God who is spirit. And we are spirit encased in this vessel. So what spirits have occupied or occupying your vessel? You can see, you can hear what spirits are occupying this vessel. My obligation, my job, my honor is to practice the fruit of the Spirit as much as I possibly can. And I love it. But I'm not perfect. I will stumble, but you better believe I'm going to stumble forward. And all of these spiritual principles provide the remedy, the answer, right, to any and all of my ills. I learn how to apply them to all earthly matters. So yes, I have an enormous responsibility, and I love it because I know who I am and who I'm working for and who I'm representing. I had no problem representing the devil. Huh? I was a hustler for the devil, but now I'm a hustler for God. Yes, 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 yes. And love it. I don't consider this work. I consider it my calling, my passion, my purpose. I am walking in my God-given ordered steps. I know it. I know it. I know it. Because I know who I am and whose I am. When God told the enemy, that's enough. Get up off Edwina. My mother over there, I didn't carry you for 9 months, devil, for you to take my child. Get your hands off my children. So God knows when you're ready. He knew I was ready. And he said, no, I'm not going to take you out. No, you're ready now. You're ready now, Edwina. Even though you think this is a very humiliating situation underneath this parked car, no, Edwina, it's my greatest gift to you. That's how my Pastor Bullock, when he hits a point, he goes like. I love my Pastor Bullock and my First Lady, Dr. Debbie Bullock, right? All right, so let me end by saying this, okay? He says here, right? The life of millions of alcoholics is closely tied to my competence in carrying the message to the still suffering alcoholic. And so let me close with this. I pray that if it's God's will, you have been touched by this information that's spiritual in nature, and agree that God is using me, obviously, and it is all about the spirit and not the flesh, which is why I often ask myself, Edwina, what you want to do, what you want to say, what you want to think, what you want to act, is it going to feed the flesh or is it going to feed the spirit? Ask yourself that question as you go through today. All of us are ill to some extent, and all of us can benefit from a 12-step spiritual program. So I just want to put this on the screen before I close, okay, about divine light, okay? And so just know that you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't. There is a remedy. There is a solution, and it's spiritual in nature. I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Ooh, 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 ooh. Tracy, carry on for me. I love you. I love y'all too. To God be the glory. If it's His will that we are rejoined tomorrow, I'll be here. And if not, I won't. Will you take my place? Will you allow yourself to be prepared? Huh? Come on now, He can use you. Want to use you, going to use you. Just surrender all to Him. God be the glory. Lord, I love you. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord.